Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at the Logitech Z625. This is a PC and game console speaker system that consists of a subwoofer and 2 satellite speakers. Costs about $170 as you see it. Before I get into the review though, I do want to let you know that this was provided to the channel free of charge from Logitech. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Nobody is paying for this review, and no one is reviewing this content before it is posted. So let's get into the hardware and see what we got. So we got our subwoofer here. It's 130 watts of power on this. The satellites have a driver and a tweeter and about 35 watts of power on each of those. It's a very simple system to hook up actually. There's nothing to disconnect or reconnect once you get everything up and running, and you can have multiple things connected to it at once and they all just kind of play through it. So you have 2 RCA connectors here left and right for a CD player or some other device that uses those connectors. There's also a standard headphone jack style connector for your sound card. So if you have that green output on your sound card, just run the cable right into the back of here like you would a traditional set of speakers. You also have an optical in, so you can connect up a game console or some other device that supports optical audio out, which is good and often the best sound quality you'll get. This looks like a VGA connector, but it's not. It's actually the connector that you use to connect up one of the speakers that sits on your desk. So the right speaker is kind of the command center. You can turn it on and off from here. You can control the bass volume on the subwoofer over here, and of course your main volume connector, and it sends back all of that stuff via this. What's also interesting about this is that you have some additional connectors on the speaker. So you have an additional input on the speaker. So you can plug in a phone or some other device into here on your desk without having to go crawl under it to connect it back up to the main subwoofer. You also have a headphone jack there, and that is what all these pins on this cable facilitates in the process there. And the other speaker here just connects below that big connector right over there. But again, everything is controlled by the right speaker here. So the big question is, how does it sound? And I think the answer to that question is going to be largely varied based on your intended usage. So if you are listening to music or making music on these, I don't think this is going to be something I can recommend, primarily because the audio is very flat, especially the high frequency audio just doesn't have a lot of depth or detail to it. And music listening really wasn't all that enjoyable. You definitely get some thump out of the subwoofer, not as much as I would like, but these speakers really do sound pretty flat and boring, and I really did not get a good music experience out of it. Gaming was a little better though, because it is a very loud system, and you can really crank the volume up to a point where you don't even get that much distortion, even when you're really blasting it. I got my wife yelling at me upstairs the other day when I was testing, of course, this with Star Wars Battlefront, and it sounded pretty good. At least it wasn't getting distorted and sounding like I was going to blow the speakers out, yet I was able to get a good amount of volume out of it. But again, the issues with the subwoofer still remain. Not as much thump and boom as I would like, especially on a game where there's a lot of explosions and other things happening within the game itself. So good volume, not so great on the sound quality, passable bass thump out of the subwoofer here. I think if they had included a slightly more powerful subwoofer, my opinion on it would be a little different, but I'm going to say this is more of a gaming system than it is a music listening system, but overall it could be a little bit better. This is Lon.TV, and thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by my Patreon supporters. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/Patreon to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.